Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to do something really cool. We're going to use a world-famous song to unlock some powerful and emotional ways to speak English. By the end of this, you'll be telling your own stories just like Adele does in her music. So right away we get this iconic first line. It's more than just a greeting, it's the start of a whole story. And hey, here's a super useful tip for you. When you call someone in English, you don't say I am. You say it's me or this is. It's a small change, but it'll make you sound so much more natural. Oh, so much. We are going to break this beautiful song down line by line. When we break something down, it just means we're studying it piece by piece. We're on the hunt for useful phrases, grammar, and new ways to talk about our feelings. All right, you ready? Let's dive in. First up, let's look at how this song gets started. It begins with this very careful, very polite phone call, and you can almost feel how nervous the singer is just by the words she chooses to use. She sings, "I was wondering if you'd like to meet." Now, she could have just asked directly, "Do you want to meet," right? But using "I was wondering if" is so much softer. It's a fantastic phrase to use when you're feeling a little shy or you're not sure what the other person is going to say. Definitely a good one to remember. And then we get this simple phrase, "after all these years." And bam, right away, you know a long, long time has passed. It just instantly sets this mood that's a little bit sad and makes you think about the past. We call that feeling nostalgic. Okay, so let's figure out why she's making this really tough call after so long. She clearly wants to talk about the history that they shared together. She sings that she wants to go over everything. Go over is what we call a phrasal verb. It just means she wants to review and talk about their entire story, from the very beginning to the very end, to try and understand what went wrong. Here, she's talking about a really common idea, right? The idea that if you just wait long enough, any sadness will eventually fade away. But listen closely to how she says you. She says "ja." This is super common and informal. You'll hear it all the time when people are just talking casually with friends. Now check out that word on the right, ain't. This word is very, very informal, almost like slang. It can mean am not, is not, or have not. You'll hear ain't in tons of songs and movies. But here's a really important rule. Do not use it in your schoolwork. It's just for casual spoken English. So this phone call gets her thinking, and she starts dreaming about the past. She's remembering who they were all those years ago and thinking about just how different everything is now. And this slide right here shows one of the most useful phrases in the entire English language for talking about the past, used to. It is the perfect tool for showing the difference between then and now. So here's the key thing to remember. When she sings about who they used to be, what she's really saying is that this was true in the past, but it is not true anymore. They were young and free, but they aren't now. That's the secret meaning of used to. This is such a beautiful line in the song. But let's think about it for a second. Did the planet Earth literally fall down onto the ground in front of them? Of course not. This is what we call a metaphor. It's a creative picture, not a real event. So what does this cool expression mean? Well, when the world falls at your feet, it means everything in your life was just easy and amazing. It means they felt successful and hopeful, almost like the world was just handing them everything they could ever want as a gift. This brings us to the most emotional part of the entire song, the famous chorus. This is where she finally says the one thing she really, really needs to say. The other side is so clever because it has a double meaning here. The first, simple meaning is, the other side of the country or the other end of the phone call. But the deeper meaning is that they're on the other side of their relationship. After their story ended, they're living in two completely separate worlds now. When she sings, "I must have called 1,000 times," she's using something called exaggeration. It just means making a number way bigger to show how strong your feelings are. Did she actually call 1,000 times? Probably not. She says that to show how much she tried and just how deeply sorry she feels. And here it is, the apology. This slide gives you the perfect formula for how to say sorry in English. The most important word to remember is for. You are always sorry for something. For example, I'm sorry for breaking the window, or I'm sorry for being late. Easy, right? But even after this really powerful apology, the song hits us with a pretty sad truth. Sometimes just saying you're sorry isn't enough. It can be too late to fix things, and that connection you had with someone might just be gone for good. that little phrase seem to be is a really gentle way to say it looks like or it feels like. She's not saying for sure that he's never home. She's just saying that it feels that way to her. It's much softer and more polite than just accusing him. You are never home. Tear someone apart. Wow, this is a very powerful, very emotional phrasal verb. She finally understands that their breakup doesn't tear him apart anymore. It doesn't cause him that deep, heartbreaking sadness. She still feels the pain, but it seems like he's already moved on. Okay, so let's quickly review your English takeaways. First, for pronunciation, listen for those clear ending sounds in words like meet and times. For emotion, you now have great phrases to show regret, like I'm sorry for, and politeness with I was wondering if. And most importantly, for practice, you've got to use that I used to structure to talk about your own life. All right, your turn. Let's practice. Look at the question on the screen. What is something you used to do but don't anymore? Maybe you used to play with Lego, or maybe you used to live in a different house. Try to make your own sentence right now, starting with I used to and then finish the sentence. Seriously, telling your own stories is the absolute best way to learn English. Thanks so much for joining this explainer.